Cuphead is a very challenging game, but the hardest parts are the boss fights. Here are all of Cuphead's boss fights ordered from easiest to hardest. The Root Pack. They may look menacing, but they are the biggest pushovers in the entire game. Even though there are 3 of them, each of them only has 1 attack, and it's incredibly easy to avoid. It's just a matter of making sure that you take them out quickly and don't waste any time because there are bigger fish to fry. GOOPY GRANDE. The key with GOOPY is simple: keep moving. He bounces from side to side, occasionally stopping to throw a punch, but other than that, he is a very straightforward combatant. At the halfway point, he grows bigger, and after that, he dies and becomes a tombstone. But this final stage is actually much easier than either of the previous ones. Ribby and Croaks. This duo is incredibly easy to take down as soon as you figure out their incredibly obvious patterns. They attack from both sides, eventually combining to form a large slot machine, which is also incredibly easy to take down. All in all, they are a good starter boss that teaches the player how to take down a tough enemy. Fear Lap. Fear Lap is a perfect name for a skeletal horse who wants to win some cash and smash in some heads. It's a very straightforward set of circumstances. He sticks to his side of the screen and occasionally throws something your way, but for the most part, he's just a large floating target. CAGNEY Carnation. Some of the bosses in Cuphead are incredibly intricate puzzles, all about dodging more projectiles than can fit on one screen at a time. CAGNEY is not one of those. He has the same set of patterns for almost the entire fight, and when he does switch it up, the fight actually gets easier, so he's certainly one to remember. Sally STAGEPLAY. Sally is a very basic kind of boss fight. Her attacks are well telegraphed and stylish, meaning that they aren't exactly a threat, especially for players who know their way around an action platformer. It's a later fight in the game, but thankfully its light difficulty makes for a good palate cleanser. Hildeberg. Hildeberg introduces the concept of aerial battles to the game, so it's fitting that she isn't an incredibly difficult boss, letting the player get the hang of the controls and the style of combat as she transforms and spits out various bullets and transforms into various astral forms. Werner Werman. This mouse and cat duo are tricky to take down. What starts off as a pretty basic fight, avoiding projectiles and firing back when you get the chance, eventually you become the mouse when a cat bursts through the wall and makes things much more difficult for you. Captain BRINEYBEARD. BRINEYBEARD never actually comes down to face you himself. He just perches atop his ship and launches attacks down to the docks below. When things heat up one step further, the ship takes things into its own hands, or oars maybe, and ensures that you have to do a lot with a little. Baroness von Bonbon. Baroness von Bonbon is unique because she sends out 3 other mini-bosses to fight you before she takes things seriously. But these 3 are selected out of a possible 5, so you never know exactly what you're going to get, so you need to know how to take them down very quickly and effectively. Jimmy the Great. Each of this genie's transformations hold a new surprise. Both their form and attacks differ greatly, so coming out on top is a matter of memorizing and reacting to every possible attack. A lot of his attacks are projectiles that curve and zigzag, so you need to remember to remain vigilant at all times. WALLY Warbles. You wouldn't think that a bird stuck inside a clock would be an extremely difficult boss, but it turns out that WALLY Warbles doesn't let the player rest for even a second. When he isn't sending a small army of birds your way, he's filling the screen with razor-sharp feathers that threaten to pull you from the sky. Kayla Maria. She rises from the depths of the ocean only to try to drag you back down with her. Pufferfish rise up and fill the screen and torrents of water surge towards you. She's yet another boss that is difficult in part to how much she throws at you. Deft movements are definitely required. BEPPI the Clown. BEPPI manages to keep the difficulty high by constantly shifting phases. Just when you think you're getting the hang of the fight, a transformation takes place and switches everything up. He attacks from all sides, and you have to carefully memorize his attack patterns or you'll quickly be staring at a retry screen. Rumor Honeybottoms. Jumping from platform to climb the wall of honeycombs as various bees try to slow your ascent is as tough as it is visually brilliant. At first, it's just simple worker bees and soldier bees, but as the fight draws on, you manage to bring out the queen herself, and she puts up quite the fight. Phantom Express. The difficulty of Phantom Express mainly comes from the fact that you are stuck on a moving platform and have to adapt to the direction the trolley moves. You have very little control because of this and have to stay on your toes to take out all of the ghosts that haunt the train. Grim Matchstick. This towering dragon is one tough customer. The fight takes place in the sky, but you are without your trusty plane. Instead, you need to leap from cloud to cloud, avoiding his fireballs and keeping away from his other heated attacks. King Dice. The Dice King himself isn't too dangerous, but he brings some friends with him, which complicates matters a little bit. Making your way through all of them is quite the challenge, especially when you want to make it to the end and take on the Master of Chance himself. The Devil. As the game's final boss, the Devil is designed to test everything you have. You'll die quite a few times as you learn his patterns, which have you leaping over crushing obstacles, avoiding projectiles, and nimbly dashing from platform to platform. He is the culmination of the game's difficulty. Dr. Cal's Robot. More so than any other boss on this list, Dr. Cal's Robot keeps you on your toes. Projectiles litter the screen, and just when you think you can't possibly dodge another bit of energy, a wall of electricity cordons off the bottom of the screen. Because this is a flying mission, it means you have less maneuverability than usual. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at Gaming Vault, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.